broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome into yet another episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians right here on AfterBuzz TV and AfterBuzzTV.com. We are talking the last straw, the season finale, technically the finale of season 10 tonight here on AfterBuzz. I'm Bobby DeMuro. Francesca Sterling in the house with me tonight. Nick is out this evening. He'll be back for season 11. More on that later. You guys can hit subscribe on YouTube and iTunes at AfterBuzz TV. If you haven't already, you can comment on YouTube. We're live streaming this. It's 9:53 Pacific time on Sunday, October 11th. Tomorrow is Columbus Day, so happy Columbus Day, if that's your thing. And if you don't see this live stream, if you're watching this later in the week, you can still comment on YouTube. We check those comments. We talk a lot about those comments.
Mm-hmm. Bobby loves the comments.
Try to keep it.
Comments are Bob's
Try
favorites.
to keep it tongue in cheek on the comments.
Yeah, that's right.
Little comment inside. Yeah. Never mind. Okay.
Commenter inside.
Got a lot to talk about today. So this is technically the season 10 season finale. Before we jump into that, a show we've mentioned a couple times here up top. The lights that are on here, the mics that are working, the screens that are behind us, all those are paid for by sponsors, partners, friends of AfterBuzz TV, because y'all don't pay a dime for this, and that's the point. That's what we want. So we have sponsors and partners. One of those is a great new show called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Definitely
we've talked
not about
it.
me and Sterling.
God, I hope not. I wish that Nick were here because he actually loves this idea, and Rebecca Bunch and stuff, and he's all about this show. So, or the characters Rebecca Bunch. The sensation is Rachel Bloom. Basically, if you've ever had a crazy ex or been a crazy ex, no comment. I'm not even looking at you two.
Oh, jeez.
You might relate to a show like this. It's going to start on Monday, October 12th. That's tomorrow. Columbus Day.
Wow, what better way to celebrate Columbus Day?
At 8/7 Central on the CW. A couple words of review wisdom. The writer of Devil Wears Prada, the director of 500 Days of Summer, so it's bona fide there. USA Today calls the series may be fall's most promising comedy. TV Guide calls it, quote, insanely entertaining, and critics... They don't say who, but critics agree that Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is, quote, something to sing about. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, go see the trailer. CWTV.com, just the network's TV station, has the trailer there for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And again, tomorrow, Monday, October 12th, 8/7 Central is the premiere. You do a lot of these live reads on AfterBuzz, and you do the, if you've been watching Kardashians, you do the same show for a couple weeks in a row, because that's the way this business works. And it makes me just want to see the damn show, because we've been talking about it forever.
Well,
I've already got it set on my DVR.
Yeah, it
well,
looks
that's the thing.
so
Like the trailer's funny, the thing looks good. So I'm like, I want to tune in just to get closure on what we've been talking about, just to see what the hell's going on.
They have great advertising, not in addition to your live read that you do.
Like billboards and stuff?
Yeah.
I don't think I've still seen one billboard.
Billboards are cute. Are you going to invite your ex-girlfriend to watch with you?
It's not a bad idea.
Not saying anything, but you're crazy.
All right, let's talk Kardashians. You guys have been patient long enough with us for that. Last straw tonight, couple big storylines. Kris and Corey we'll talk about in a minute. Kim's game, I suppose we can hit on. But let's start with Scott. We know how this goes down. We all saw what happened over the summer.
Yeah.
We've all got thoughts and stuff. But having now seen it play out today on the show, what are you guys thinking?
Well, like you said, we do know, what's going on outside of the show, especially with Kourtney and Scott. But it's very nice to see Kourtney being like, my mind's made up, I need to move on. And I think that's the right decision. And as much as we love Scott and we love him on the show and we love the character that he plays on the show, it's just not smart for her to still be with him and with the kids and everything. It's just...
Yeah, for me it was hard to watch her kind of really realize it, because she's been going through this, like Kim said, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And she says, I can't keep putting my kids through this. And then that breaks my heart, because even though this has been going on forever, she still had more kids with him. So it just made it even more tough. So, but
well, it's been the same up and down with them for the past 10 seasons of this show. So it's just
this is where like a lot of people say the show's about nothing. We say the show's about nothing, but things like this, things
it's
like
not about nothing.
Caitlyn on a separate level, Caitlyn Jenner on a different level, but things like this are where this show makes its money, so to speak, like where it's actually entertaining, because these problems people go through.
Yeah.
Cheating, loss of love, like whatever you want to call it, like, you know, unable to reconcile and stuff. And Scott's doing it in a unique way with club appearances and flying around in yachts, and not everybody's doing that. But like you understand, and the thing that hit home for me was Kourtney saying, I don't want to raise my kids with them thinking that this is okay.
Right.
With Mason and Rain being like, we can treat women like this. Dad did it to Mom. Or Penelope being like, well, this is the way relationships are. Like that to me is what hit home for her.
Exactly.
And Mason's at that age now. How old is he? 5? Getting
4 or
there?
5.
4 or 5?
Somewhere around
But
there.
he's old. I mean, piano lessons. He's talking. He's smart. He's a funny little kid. Like he's picking up mannerisms. He's been picking up mannerisms, and he's at that age now where it's like, wait a second, he can really understand what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point too, because before, you know, in the earlier seasons, we were always kind of like, well, why is Kourtney still with him? Like all this stuff, blah blah. But now that she's realizing that the kids are taking all of this in, and that they're being affected too, it's really, it just shows how much she's grown. It wasn't just, it's not just about her anymore.
And she obviously, I hate to say this, but like it matters. Like she does financially fine without him. She arguably might do better than him.
Yeah.
So it's this, she wasn't sticking around for money. She wasn't sticking around for relevance. If anything, it was the other way around.
Right, exactly.
And so I think we kind of saw her run the gamut of, she really loves this person, / she really cares about this person, / it's the father of her children, and you don't want to break up you try everything you can.
Right.
And then you get to a point, and Kim got there a lot quicker than Kourtney, but Kourtney's there now too, where she's like, you know what? I did my best.
Yeah.
You know, and I think at the end of the day,
she can't say that she didn't. Like, she stuck it in there for a long time.
It's like what you tell athletes or performers, and like you say, like, you know what? Try hard. Try your hardest, do your best, and if you lose or if your performance isn't whatever, if you did your best, you can sleep at night. Like, you did everything you could. And in a weird way, like, that's what it's like with Kourtney right now. She tried for 8 years.
Yeah.
She worked her ass off on this. From what we saw, and I'm sure a lot of stuff we didn't see, it didn't work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
you can't go 99% of the way and have him come 1.
Right.
At some point, he's got to come 40, 50%.
And Kim, she obviously took her tough love approach that she does with everything.
Always.
But especially with the video game, when he's wanting more money than the other sisters are getting, and he's not even a Kardashian.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, why? What is he doing that for? You know what I mean?
I'll defend him a little bit on the game if you take it out of the context of the breakup. Like, if it were just the game negotiating, I'd be totally on his side saying, hey, man, each one of them has a brand. He's trying to get his. He wants the residuals. I get it.
That makes sense.
When you put it in context of the breakup, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
So I get that, too. At the end of the day, though, Kourtney's making the right move.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
definitely.
Definitely.
And we've said it for how long? How many seasons now? I guess 2 full seasons that we've been around.
And we've talked about this before. I think it's just, I know also in addition to her kids, it's just really hard because you're wondering what's going on with Scott. Like, she doesn't hear from him for weeks, you know, like they talk about his binges, and that's just really scary because you also don't want the father of your kids to, like, drop off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
It was so sad when she was like, you know, I wake up feeling sick, and I wake up that way every day.
That's
and
like a breakup.
And she of course shouldn't have to live like that.
It's not that the actual finality of the breakup's going to be easy on her now, but maybe hopefully a little bit of a weight has been lifted, and she doesn't wake up sick anymore because it's over.
Yeah.
It's still going to be tough. Like, you have so many years together. It's not, you don't wake up and you're like, hey, I'm moving.
They have the kids, so there's always going to be that connection and that relationship there.
And that's 20 times tougher. I mean, we don't have any kids at this table, but I imagine that's 20 times tougher because you see the kid and you see Scott's mannerisms within Mason. You know, and you're like, that reminds me of Scott. That will always remind me of Scott.
Yeah.
And
Scott has never, you know, on the show at least, they've never shown him being a bad father. When he's there, when he's with the kids, and when he's not, you know, on a bender and not, you know, communicating with them at all. When he's there, he's a good dad, you know, and they get along with the kids and everything. So he's always going to be a part of the story. It's just...
do you guys like the way we may never see Scott again on a Kardashians episode? I guess maybe we'll see him. No, we know we see him in the next season with the previews.
Yeah.
But from here on, obviously, his character takes a left turn. Did you like the way he was portrayed? And what I mean by that is, he seems like a nice guy to me with a very serious addiction. He's not a jerk to her. He does awful things because of some of his problems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from what we know about him from, just in the media and from the show specifically, over however many seasons he's been on the show, I think it was a pretty accurate description. I mean, they showed the clips of him saying, them being affectionate with each other and loving each other and blah, blah, him being a good dad. But then there also is that very harsh reality that he has problems. And I don't think, they were going to hide that.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a pretty realistic portrayal. I don't think they threw him under the bus or said he did stuff that he didn't do.
Right. So. I agree because, like you said, we love him when he's doing his crazy antics that are not harming anyone else. So they play that factor, his likable side. But then we do see the reality. They haven't slept together in the same room for ever. And even in the flashbacks, she's like, "Why did you stay in bed with me for so long?" That's how sad is that? Yeah. And like you said, it's real. And this is finally when you see real reality in reality shows, because a lot of times they make it nice and warm and fuzzy, but
listen, having dealt with something not similar to this, but relatively, in the same vein, everybody's thing is different. I mean, I'm sure we'll have commenters who say, "Hey, I dealt with an ex who was addicted to such and such or had this problem, and it was totally different from Scott," and that's true. I mean, you can't take a universal thing.
One situation,
but I gotta believe that the interpretation of this, the way that it made the camera, there's a lot of shortcomings with it, but overall, it's a pretty relatable story. And I would imagine a lot of people are in Kourtney's shoes saying, "I've been there." It could be a different substance, it could be a different addiction, it could be a different situation, but you say, I understand these behaviors, the 3 months where you're good, the repentance period where I'm done now, this is the last time, and then you fall back. And then you're good, and then you fall back. And every time you fall back a little worse. And then you can't get out of
It's a spiral.
Yeah.
I mean, I like I said, I love Scott on the show, and I think he's hilarious. But obviously, it's interesting to watch his storyline. But so I'd like to see him on the show still. But for Kourtney's sake, that's probably just not healthy for him to be around, because then you just can't move on. But from what we know, just in the media, because obviously this show is behind. And she looks great. She's in the best shape of her life. Seems to be doing pretty well and smiling, and so
hey, this is her comeback. Not that she ever left, she didn't left, but she's definitely, of the three sisters, the least publicity oriented one, and that's a relative term in this family.
Yeah.
But this is maybe her.
This is her moment. Yeah. I mean, she looks great. So
good for her, and they've done a fairly good job. It seems like keeping the kids not out of the spotlight. I mean, they're on the show all the time, but keeping the kids relatively grounded as much as you can
from what we know.
I mean, we don't have any, there's no ongoing crazy custody battle, at least not yet, and maybe that's coming, but I sure hope not.
Yeah,
but I don't know. She seems to have her priorities right. The other two girls, not that they don't at all, I mean, they certainly do too, but Kourtney seems to have the right head on her shoulders for this situation. On the Kourtney and Khloe Take the Hamptons spinoff, we criticized her a lot, and she deserved it. The way she was in that show was awful, but she also has her head right for stuff like this.
Right.
And if somebody's going to go through it, she's a pretty good one to go through it. Yeah. What do we make of Kim's just heartlessness? In the best way.
I loved Kim this episode. I thought she was a great sister. She was very reasonable. Even when she was talking with Khloe about Caitlyn, and when she's talking to Kourtney, she was very supportive, but also just this, you need to make this right.
Yeah, I don't even really think she was doing the tough love, or I don't think she had a lack of love. Kim's always the level-headed person, and I think because she is the main one in the spotlight, she has been through so much, so it's just easy for her to be calm and sit back and look at the situation from outside.
It's weird. I looked at it a little bit differently. I looked at this for her, not emotionally off the rails, but internally, fiercely loyal, almost to the point where, if you don't get rid of Scott, I will. Yeah. He is not going to hurt my sister, kind of thing. She was
very protective, and that's good to see too.
Yeah, and Kim is the middle child, so it's interesting to see that dynamic go that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure it'd go back the other way, but still.
From a business standpoint, and I'm sure, and obviously from their family standpoint, she doesn't want any drama in between the family members, because they need to have a united front, because there's so many people that want to attack them or want to make them look bad, and so it can't come from inside.
Yeah.
So she is the first one to squash any sort of drama happening between it and getting negative energy out of there. So
I have a little news and gossip piece coming up about that, so hold that thought.
Uh-oh. Okay.
But that'll be in like 20 minutes. Other stuff about Scott and Kourtney, the montages were interesting, good and bad. Good Scott, bad Scott. See the whole thing. I feel bad for him. Like, I really do. He deserves what he gets. He deserves Kourtney leaving. He deserves having to, we see in the preview for season 11, I made the biggest mistake I could have made. Like, dude, you had 100 chances. Like, you deserve this. And that's not to belittle him. Like, that's the problem. When you have that problem, if you get 1,000,000 chances, it won't get fixed. It doesn't matter. But at some point, Kourtney has to draw the line. She should have done it. She deserved to do it. She had the right to do it. I still feel bad for him.
I do too, 100%. And I really hope that eventually he does, get his stuff together.
He needs serious help where he's not just in rehab. He's in like a whole like rehab emotion, like way more than just like a substance rehab. Yeah. Because he really, really needs it. And you see in the preview too for the next season where he says, "Now I lost my parents, and now you guys, I'm losing you." Like, he's clearly he's playing the victim, but he feels like he really is a victim, and so that's why his behavior is going. He needs to be somewhere for like a year or something like that, not just 30 days, 90 days. No, he needs a big chunk of time and a lot of people to really help him through this.
And the first things first, it's not even just the substance, although that's it. I mean, alcohol and whatever else. The issue is, you need to stop making club appearances.
Seriously, it just seems so...
I just, at this point, and I don't mean to put like too hard a point on it, but do you want to keep living? Because at some point, you're going to do something or something's going to happen where you get way in a situation beyond your control, and that spiral doesn't stop. It's going to go down to the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, I get that he's always saying, well, I have to do it for money. Like, this is my job, blah, blah. You can do other things. But then also you just can't put yourself in that situation where you're weak and you're vulnerable, and that's something that you can't say no to.
And at some point, I look, and from my sports background, I look at this in a different way. So this is a weird metaphor, but the football players that have retired prematurely in the middle of their careers saying, you know what, it's good money, it's a dream job, I don't want my head to get bashed in every day, and then in 20 years I have a miserable life. It's that same thing with Scott. This might be good money, this might be your career, but at what cost is this career coming?
I mean, your whole family. It's costing you.
Exactly. You've already lost your kids.
Yeah.
You've lost your family. Yeah. You've lost your health. You've lost your personal life. You're empty now. Do you think it's going to get better by still staying in the clubs? Come on.
Exactly.
It's at this point one of those things like grow up. It's time to grow up now. You're 30 whatever, 31 or whatever.
You have 3 kids. Yeah.
You have 3 kids. You have nothing now. Get out of the club.
Maybe this will be it for him, and I really hope that it is.
I hope so too, and I also hope she never takes him back. And I will never say never in redemption. We love redemption in this country. Those are great stories, but
I think she needs to move on. I would like to see her in a healthy relationship.
I can't wait until he redeems himself in every way, and 2 years from now he's doing great. Not with Kourtney.
Yeah.
Like, you had your shot,
I agree.
I don't know. It's still, we knew it was coming, but it's still a little, I guess sad's the right word.
Yeah, it's like bittersweet because we want her to move on, but also we love him.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of the first seasons, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is one of the first seasons where we had a sad downer final moment. Most of the time it's like the stereotypical family trip and the music video and we had a tough season but we love each other, like one of those corny reality things. And this one was down.
Well, but we already know what happened with them, that they're broken up and blah, blah, so they can't just put a cherry on top.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying it was just unique for the end of it. I don't remember another one being like this. Am I crazy?
Yeah. No,
unless it was maybe a Chloe Lamar thing, but I don't think so.
All the seasons just blend together to me.
Yeah.
So
I don't know where one ends and one begins.
That's true.
And I mean, the next one starts in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. These people can't get off our TV.
And we can't stop
watching.
watching.
We can't stop talking about it.
I guess. Anything else on Scott and Kourtney? I will say this. Scott has better friends than he may ever realize, and Kourtney has better allies. And it says a lot of Kourtney that Scott's friends, who, as far as we know, don't owe her a damn thing, are constantly calling her. One of them could have easily been like, hey, here's a tip-off. He's doing dumb shit. Yeah. But the way that we're portrayed, the way it's portrayed for us, they are constantly on the phone with her, implying that they care about her.
Mm-hmm. And I think he does definitely have friends that are concerned, but he also has a lot of people around him who aren't healthy for him to be hanging out with.
Yeah.
So
you can't do this alone. You can't get to this point alone.
Yeah.
But I got to hit Chris Rita or whatever. We've seen him on the show before. He's like had little appearances before. Like that dude's class act, as far as we can tell. Class act. He may be enabling Scott too, and we don't know. But from what we can tell, you know, that dude owes Kourtney not much, and he's given a lot.
Yeah.
Still bad though. Still unfortunate. All right. From one ending relationship to one
blossoming
budding romance
with lots of sex.
Okay,
like,
visuals.
Oh, no.
let's go to the top. The most important question, because we haven't seen very much of him. We haven't heard hardly any of him. Do you guys like Corey Gamble?
I like him.
I don't know. It's like you said, we haven't seen much of him. This is really the first. This is the first time I feel like we've heard him talk.
Yeah.
And
his voice is not what I was expecting. For some reason.
It's not. To me, it's like when I dated an older guy, my mom's like, what an older guy want with a younger girl?
How much older?
But like
34.
Hey, this is not about me. This is about the Kardashians. But like, obviously, Corey's like way younger than Chris, and it's
how
almost
old
like
is he? 30.
I think he's 30 something, and Chris is what, 57?
It's like
So 25 years ish.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah. And so it's like, what does a guy want? Like, you know, when he was talking about that story, like I saw her at the club or wherever, and the party, she's wearing this dress. I told her, you look beautiful. That's such a cheesy thing, and it's just kind of like, how do you not know what you're getting yourself into if you're trying to hit on Kris Jenner?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
I think he knows exactly what he's getting himself into.
You were on the same wavelength.
I'm just trying not to, you know, say he's totally out for the wrong thing. It does look like they have a nice friendship, but I'm still very like, we need to see more of him to see where this is really going.
I will go that far. I won't go that far, but I will say you cannot talk about a new relationship with a previously not famous person. I know he was in Bieber's production clique or something.
Yeah, he's like part of Bieber's
Scooter Braun's
management
thing or something.
Yeah.
But he's still, for our intents and purposes, he's not famous. No one knew him. You can't open a relationship as a non-famous person with anyone in this family without legitimately having to ask yourself, even subconsciously, am I gaining business-wise from this? Because what is this really about?
Yes.
You know, let's be real.
Maybe he's, has a rap album he wants to come out.
And that doesn't discount.
I really hope it's not.
I hope it's not either. I hope it's not.
Oh my God, when Scott said, and there's probably a pretty good chance that he's not
going to turn into a woman.
I was like,
oh,
no.
Scott. That's the
See,
last
that's
moment.
what I'm going to miss. Those comments.
And look, there's nothing wrong if Corey has some of those aspirations and genuinely has a connection with Chris. Hey, man, go for it. I'm not going to knock you for that, and I'm not saying it's totally malicious. But just keep it in the back of your head, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like Chris would have to, too.
I think Chris deserves to get her some after everything that she said.
Well, that's the thing. Her motivation should be different than his motivation, but he says he wants to make her happy, so that's good. Her motivation is, dude, have fun. You deserve a little bit of fun right now because you've had a crappy last couple.
And she looked happy, and all of when she was on vacation, all the stuff. And it's very different than even last week's episode.
Yeah.
So just goes to show.
I like how he tried to play off that it was a washer and dryer.
I also like the moment I really liked was he's like, I've raised a lot of kids, and Chloe's like, who?
Yeah, what kids?
Nephews.
Red flag.
But it was awkward how he said it. He was like, yeah, I've raised a lot of kids.
No, but it was, I think Chloe, it was like,
how many
Chloe,
kids do you have?
Call the dogs off for 2 seconds. First off, Malika. I know Chloe was like, well, Malika can ask questions without it seeming like you're being interrogated. Bullshit. I know it's staged.
So have you ever dated someone younger than you? That's not casual. No, that's
It was Malika like representing a client. Malika literally said, so the sisters are here, and I'm like, whoa, you're not a Kardashian sister.
She was like, we wouldn't be good daughters if we didn't ask these questions. I was like, you're not a daughter.
I'm not even sure Chris knows who you are.
Yeah.
Yikes.
We'll have a Malika piece of news in News and Gossip too.
Ooh, that's gossip.
I know I'm just teasing the whole. No, not yet. Goodness gracious.
Sorry, we're just
can
getting
get to
excited.
it.
Excited. It's not
Alexis is engineering for us today.
Hello.
Alexis, what do you feel about the Kardashians? 10 words or less.
Or however many
There we
words.
go.
However many words you want to.
Bobby actually put it in the best words possible that there's never going to be another show like this.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean that in the best and worst way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely
It's
agree with you.
phenomenon.
Well, thanks, Alexis.
Like
Hey, we'll see you for news and gossip in 7 minutes.
Got it.
I love her. She's actually pretty nice. I do give her a hard time.
She's pretty nice.
She's pretty nice.
She's really nice.
I'm looking back through our notes. We kind of talked about the game, Scott in the game. We know he's not going to be in it now. Kim's game's a damn cash cow. I guess the last thing...
Caitlyn.
Yes, that's just where I was going. Thank you.
God, you guys are on the same page.
Well, seen it, been there, done that, nothing to say. But...
I mean, we saw this scene in I Am Cait, so...
So for me, I actually didn't watch I Am Cait. So there's some things that I was a little like, what's going on? But not too much. It's pretty self-explanatory. But I thought
As the show is.
Right.
From the...
I thought it was very... what's the word I'm thinking of? It was nice. It's not nice is not the word, but it was nice to see Kim like call her Bruce for a second and be like, oh my God, Caitlyn, because it just shows how everyone's still getting used to it. However, I was a little confused when finally Caitlyn and why am I blanking out? Chloe sat down and talked. He was saying like if Chris was okay with this, like blah blah blah. What do you mean if Chris was okay with this? You can't be married. You can't expect her to be married to a guy and then when you're really gonna turn around and become a woman that she's gonna be like
there's gonna be a change. I keyed in on the same line but a different point.
Okay. When
Caitlyn said to Chloe, you know, whatever, we've been married for this long, and if Chris had been okay with it, and Chloe was like, you mean the transition? And Caitlyn goes, well, not even a transition, but just like okay with me and who I am. And I'm thinking, I just watched every minute of I Am Cait. The whole thing was your authentic true self and this is who you are. Why would you just then insinuate you wouldn't have had to transition if Chris was okay with it?
Right.
Am I hearing it wrong?
It's like,
or like I thought the transition was absolutely central, but what does this mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's we talked about this last week a little bit with Kate kind of having these expectations of how people should have responded or should be dealing with it, and it's just different for everyone, and you can't expect like someone you're married to for 25 years to accept it so easily and then to also still be with you if that's what she's getting at, because like Chloe said, she's not a lesbian. If you're going to be a woman, she's wants to be with a man, so like it's very confusing.
I don't know. We watched the episodes. I was on the after show. I'm all talked out about Cait.
Yeah.
You know?
I just love how she kept promoting. What was it? I don't even remember. That's how great she promoted it. The purse.
Oh, the purse.
Who was it?
I have no idea. You were asking the wrong guy.
But it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I know.
But I mean, I did like seeing Chloe, instead of just talking to Kim about Cait, actually talking to Caitlyn about it, because that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the only
That's
way
the
you'll
point.
get progress. And I thought it was interesting when Chloe was like, I don't know who this person is, like blah, blah, blah. We don't have a relationship. And it's interesting because when all of this was happening, when in real time, and she was like supporting her on social media and all this stuff, but we didn't know that there really did have a falling out because of it. But
where does Cait go next season? And let me ask you guys even a broader question. Is there another I Am Cait coming up? What's next for Caitlyn Jenner?
I'm sure there's
the brand.
Season 2.
Because you don't just transition, have a season like this. It was a massive success.
Yeah.
Everybody's obviously talking about this huge publicity wave.
Yeah.
And then say, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
maybe Caitlyn Jenner, the isolationist in Malibu, maybe that's the inclination. But I think what's next?
Yeah. Well, I think that, I mean, and we saw a little bit in the preview that it's this part of the season, it is still really new what was happening. So I think as time passes, they'll obviously be closer and she'll come back around and everyone will be
hunky-dory.
Everyone will be all happy. It's just like right now it's a little tense because it's so new.
And the Vanity Fair thing that we've been over.
Yeah.
57 times.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, actually weigh in, guys, if you're at home watching, if you want to tweet us, or at Sterling Cates, at XOXOCESCA. I'm at Bobby DeMuro. You guys can tweet us literally right now or all week what you think about the future is for Cait and all the girls. I know we know, up to present day, but you guys know how this works. You can also comment on YouTube. We'll check those comments as we always do. Alexis, now we're ready for news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
I'm glad we have a couple more minutes to do this because I have 4 pieces of news for you guys. I think they're all pretty good. First comes first. Radar Online is publicizing, is saying that there is a report out that the Kardashian clan is, quote, planning to destroy Scott Disick piece by piece. Ooh. And what they mean by that is a source is saying the following. Scott's gone from bad to worse. He talks a good talk, but the family has had enough, and they are all closing ranks around him now. Once he signs that $20 million settlement with all the bans on tell-alls and spilling family secrets firmly in place, they want to stitch him up so he can no longer find any work in L.A. They want him out of town, away from Kourtney, and it's going to happen on their terms, not his. He'll get very limited access to the kids, and for a very good reason. He's drunk all the time now and not fit to look after them. He is a lost cause.
Oh, man.
That breaks my heart if it's true for him.
And this is obviously present day, October 10th or whatever this came out. This isn't from the season.
Yeah.
But it sounds like same old, same old. The $20 million
I'm
gag
sure he
order.
knows some real shit. Like, seriously.
He could make tons of money writing a book.
We'll see him on Dancing with the Stars in 2 seasons.
Geez.
Mark my words.
I really hope not.
I don't know if the Kardashians have enough LA power that he won't be able to find work again, but in their circles for sure, he's already persona non grata. And I don't doubt the settlement and some kind of NDA.
There's got to be some sort of settlement.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's already had to sign NDAs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. There's a great piece. I forget the publication, Daily Beast, GQ, one of something like that. There's a good long form piece about Kris Jenner. Might be the New York Times actually. And they say that when you come into her house, there's NDAs on the table. That this is what celebrities want now. You have to turn over your phone. You have to sign. You have to take no pictures because they don't want the bullshit.
It's smart.
Yeah.
I mean,
they don't want to get sued. Absolutely.
And all of their, their hair and makeup people, all of that, they have to sign all of that stuff. And
being famous is a business, man. It's a business unto itself. Story number 2.
Ooh.
This one got a lot of traction on PerezHilton.com this week.
Oh.
Kourtney was out at the club Friday night, hitched a ride home with Justin Bieber.
Saw that.
Just a ride or something weird?
Well, it's probably Corey Gamble's there, and they're like all friends now.
Babe.
Does Bieb still have that place in Calabasas? Like, are they neighbors?
So. But Bieber's dating that Jade Pierce girl.
I thought it was what's her name, Baldwin.
No, they're just friends.
God.
He was with Jade Pierce. He was with Jade Pierce on that trip where he was exposed.
Naked?
Hey man, don't say anything or he'll sue you. He's threatening to sue everybody with those pictures.
I don't have the pictures.
I'm just saying, don't say anything. I'm gonna point you Corey Gamble's way. All right, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think they're kind of whatever, but a Kourtney dating rumor or truth is going to come up with somebody pretty soon.
Yeah.
So get ready for that, whether it's a celeb or an athlete or just maybe a random person, but it's coming.
Wait.
It's coming. Any guesses on who? Who would be a good fit for Kourtney Kardashian besides Bobby DeMuro?
Oh, Babs.
I don't know. That was the only guess that I was going to say.
Same.
I'm just saying.
Even Alexis thinks Bobby's the only fit for.
I'm just saying
for Kourtney.
Kourtney's the right fit for me as a person too, because she's more of like a homebody, like not a clubber. That's me, man. We can watch Netflix.
You've
all
always
the time.
talked about wanting 3 kids.
Wow,
yes,
so
perfect.
Weird.
Yes.
Now you don't even have to do anything.
I
It's
know.
already there.
And by comparison, I'll look pretty damn good. All right, number 3. Let's get the hell off that. Number 3, TMZ reports Kylie Jenner bought a $400,000 Rolls Royce. If you got it, flaunt it, or save your money. You're 18.
I think she needs to save her monies, but she does have lots of monies.
Yeah,
So,
she has lots of money, so I don't think it's.
I mean, she already has like a G-Wagon and like
She's got a
Range
froyo
Rover
machine in her home, and I would love to have one of those.
Oh yeah, I would have that all day, every day.
Best.
That's all I want. When
saw
I get rich and famous, I'm getting a
I saw
froyo
it on her
machine.
Snapchat, and I was like, no, she does not have a full-on froyo like bar. That's awesome.
Welcome to Kylie Jenner.
Like,
I
pretty
think.
jealous.
Look, Chris knows how to manage stuff. She knows how to manage money. I'm sure they have accountants and a team, so she's fine.
She probably didn't buy it. She probably just gets to like.
Or there's that,
loan
yeah.
it or
Or
lease
she
it or
bought it
whatever.
at a steep discount for some sort of publicity deal. Yeah, there's always games
That's
like
right.
that.
They get
There's always side deals.
yeah.
I will say this though, and this is what everybody should do when you're famous. There's more to financial planning than this, but determine what you need to live comfortably the rest of your life. Make that, and then if you have extra, spend that extra. Yeah. So if that 400,000 is the extra, hey man, go for it. You can buy 400,000 sodas. I don't care.
All around the world.
I don't give a damn what you buy, but keep the money first because it could end any minute.
Yeah.
You know, the public could decide they are tired of you. Number 4, we saw the promo clip. This is the news story. The season 11 trailer was released, came out yesterday.
Good.
Saw it. If you watch commercials tonight on Kardashians, you probably saw it. I think probably around the country. We definitely saw it here. Really good.
So good.
I know, it made me want to be in a fashion show.
The best Kardashian trailer, like the best Kardashian branding of the show of all 11 seasons.
It's very glamorous.
Yeah. And like high-end glamorous.
Yeah.
A little tongue-in-cheek about new reality.
Bobby, you say that way too much.
It's tongue-in-cheek. I'm just being tongue-in-cheek about being tongue-in-cheek. No, really good. The new reality. Now, will the season be any different than the past ones? Probably not. They got a formula. But
they just classed up the intro a little bit.
Well, they did say it was going to be different. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's like new reality.
But that's what I'm saying.
Reality.
Is new reality just new bullshit, or is it actually going to be?
Maybe a little bit of both.
What was that voice?
Tongue-in-cheek voice.
I knew you were going to say that. Last one, serious one. Malika got a DUI on Thursday. Crashed her car on the 101, minor crash. Was just over the limit. I think she blew a .08, but dude, over the limit is over the limit. Yeah. Unacceptable. Not cool. Don't ever do that. Seriously, that's dumb. Uber is everywhere, especially in this town. You make money.
Call Justin Bieber.
Exact. Call Biebs. Call anybody, but don't do that. I will say this for Malika.
Don't call Justin Bieber. That's probably the worst.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know, Justin Bieber's getting better though. You know.
I will say this for Malika. She issued an apology on Saturday, and I want to read it to you guys. She tweeted this. Quote, I never imagined I would have to apologize for poor behavior, and today I am thankful to be alive to say I'm sorry for my actions. My bruises don't meet my shame. Learn from the error in my ways. Save others. Save yourself. # be safe. That is how the fuck you deliver an apology. Yeah. So many people, politicians, celebrities, whoever, when they apologize, they're like, well, you know,
make excuses, but she's just like, no, I did it, and I'm sorry.
They do this sidestep. They say, well, I'd like to apologize, or I'm sorry if people were offended by my action. Right. No. Don't say I apologize. When you make an apology, you say, I am sorry.
Yeah.
Literally say those 3 words.
She owned up to it and is taking responsibility.
Owned it 100%.
That's really respectful.
I think that's totally poignant and meaningful and honest and fucking knocked it out of the park. Doesn't excuse.
Now it just kind of can blow over because it's like.
Well, and it doesn't excuse. It's a terrible action. She shouldn't have done it. But it at least lets the public know that she's accountable. That she says, you know what, I fucked up real bad. Yeah. And
that's what Scott Disick should do.
Yeah. But it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Because he doesn't think really he's doing anything wrong. Genuinely. Mm-hmm. Not yet.
And we saw Malika tonight on the show, so I guess that's kind of, timely too. So hopefully she's good to go. I wouldn't say she's anywhere near a Scott Disick level, at least not that we know. So
she was just at a birthday party, and I think that wasn't expected.
Just a dumb decision. So if you have a drink, get a damn Uber. It costs literally $20, or Uber Group or whatever they do, and it's like you're getting like it's a $10 ride. Yeah, it's so cheap. All right, guys, girls, I should say. Predictions.
Really?
Hey man, look, this is what we.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Are you new here at AfterBuzz TV?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I'm just the lights are gonna make me. Whew, that's something.
I predict that. Oh, well, this is not really a prediction, but that's kind of I hadn't heard about this before, but we see in the previews for next season about Kim saying she might have diabetes because of whatever. That's pretty crazy. I just really hope that nothing bad happens. And
does that happen? Am I crazy? I've never given birth, believe it or not. Contrary to popular opinion.
See, it does happen.
But I thought it happened a lot.
Yeah.
You haven't, Bobby?
Or like
no, yeah, it does.
I thought it was maybe not common, but relatively.
It's like pretty common.
So.
Do you guys think that Chris would ever remarry?
Yes. Yes. In the next 2 years? No.
Maybe not. Yeah. I guess I think she would too. But I think she would probably be with the person for quite a while before.
She married Bruce real quick.
Yeah.
Although,
I think she deserves to have some fun.
For sure. 100%. Yeah. Nobody can fault her for that. She's earned it. She works her ass off. Like, everybody knows that. Definitely deserves to, go on a few more vacations.
how Kris got her groove back.
I wonder if that's going to be a spinoff.
End of the day.
Thank you, Alexa.
End of the day, does Corey stick around? Maybe not long term, but like the next 6 months, the next year. Are we going to see him throughout season 11? Are we going to be talking about him a year from today?
I think he's going to be around for a while. I do too. If he's smart.
Well, yes, that and it looked like he did genuinely care about her, and he's kind of been in the picture for I feel like over a year already.
A long time.
Yeah. So, you know,
they're just now talking about it, but he's been around for a long time.
I don't mind the dude at all. I mean, we can talk about his motives and all that sort of stuff, and I think it's legit, but I thought he was pretty likable.
Yeah.
You know, not a bad guy. There's been plenty worse on this family.
And Kourtney and Scott liked him, and it seems like everyone, you know, for the most part, once Kris was like, yeah, this is a thing.
Right. All of Kris's daughters, including Malika.
I just wish Kris would be honest about what the relationship is. Not like a DTR, like define the relationship, but be honest with your kids. Be honest with your kids and be like, hey, he means something more to me, so I'm going to acknowledge
do that.
She did this episode, and told us a little bit extra.
Yeah. Gave us some more inside knowledge about their
scoop.
We're going to leave you guys with that very fun image of Kris.
Stop it.
Of the washer and dryer going in Kris's upstairs bedroom. All right. Like I said up top, you guys can subscribe on YouTube and iTunes. You can tweet us. Sterling, if they would want to tweet you or Snapchat you or Instagram you or MySpace you, where could they do that?
MySpace.
You can find me at Sterling Cait. That's it.
That's it. Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA.
I am on Twitter at Bobby DeMuro. New season 11 of the Kardashians, November 15th. So we will be back that Sunday, November 15th. So check AfterBuzzTV.com that day for the time. It'll probably be 8, 9, 10 p.m., something like that, Pacific time. And you guys can tweet us in the meantime. We'd love to hear from you all of the next month. That's it this week for season 10 finale. We'll see you guys in a month for season 11. Good night. Godspeed. Have a wonderful couple weeks.
Ciao.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.